Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Language Arts Gallery. If it's your first time watching my channel, please remember to click like, subscribe, and comment on the video. And in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about cross-cultural writing instruction. And in particular, I'm going to talk about how we can support our English language learners in the classroom. So let's go ahead and get started. So I want to begin by talking a little bit about writing instruction in American classrooms. In American classrooms, writing instruction is a big part of our curriculum. It's taught from kindergarten all the way through secondary school, through middle school and high school. And we think of academic writing as being a gatekeeper. And by that, I mean academic writing determines how likely students are to get into good universities. They often have to write admissions essays. It determines in part their success at those universities. And students who are successful at university, they're able to graduate, get good jobs, and have a better life, everything that goes with being a well-educated person in America today. So what makes English academic writing unique? Well, first of all, English academic writing focuses on argument. So what exactly do we mean by that? Well, we talk about academic writing, having a thesis statement. And this is something that's easily seen in things like opinion essays or persuasive letters or persuasive essays, but it actually finds its way into all genres of academic writing, even in process essays. And that's something we teach very often in the early years. For example, your second grader might write a process essay or a how-to essay on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And in that essay, that student is going to have a thesis. And their thesis is, if you want to be successful, if you want to make a great peanut butter and jelly sandwich, then you need to follow the steps that I'm about to explain to you. So all of this finds its way into the rhetorical features of academic writing. And here we've got a clear, well-placed thesis statement, a roadmap that indicates what you're going to cover. So by a roadmap, I mean essentially, what are the big points that you're going to cover in the body of your essay? And our well-placed thesis statement should be at the end of our introduction. Our body paragraphs are going to support our thesis, and each body paragraph should have a topic sentence. And then finally, in our conclusion, we're going to have a summary of those main points, and we're going to restate our thesis or our argument. So usually what I tell my kids is tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. Now, going back to our previous example, if you're teaching a second grader how to write a how-to essay on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you're probably not going to talk about a well-placed thesis statement, but you can bring about argument. You can, your instruction should focus on, you need to have an argument or an opinion, perhaps. You want to introduce this to students using student-friendly language. So when they do enter middle school or high school and they need to have a thesis statement, they're already used to writing and they're used to argument being a part of their academic writing. So how is all of this a challenge for our English language learners? Well, first of all, in many countries, formal writing may not be taught. That doesn't mean it's not part of the curriculum. I lived and taught in Korea for nearly a decade, and writing is in fact part of their curriculum. However, it's rarely taught, and the reason there is because it's not tested. So if it's not on the major test, which for Koreans is the Sunung or the high school entrance exam, then it's not going to find its way into the classroom or find its way into the classroom as often as it should. So another challenge is the difference between spoken and written language. It may not be taught or it simply may not be observed. And in many cultures, again, I spent a lot of time in Asia. Both when you speak and when you write, you should be incredibly formal when you're dealing with a teacher. And that may not be the case in the United States of America. You may have a more informal relationship with older people. So this finds its way into our anchor standards. For example, recognizing the differences between spoken and written English. So sometimes we need to explicitly introduce that to our English language learners. Another big challenge, and this is something that's a challenge, I think, for all our students, but it's especially true for our English language learners, is a sentence level focus of writing. By that, I mean, kids worry, is my spelling correct? Is my grammar perfect? And a big part of this is because they're not introduced to process writing. Process writing is a big part of our culture, and it even finds its way into our anchor standards. We brainstorm, we draft, then we go back and we revise what we've already written. Many students from other cultures, if they do write at all, they may just write something, and then when they're done, they turn it in. So their first draft, they're writing with the intention of it being perfect. And we need to get our students, particularly our English language learners, to understand that it's okay if your spelling's not perfect. It's okay if your grammar's not perfect. We can go back, we could check this, and we can make it better. Another very important difference may be differences in approaches to argument, and this is a cultural difference. So English academic writing is very direct in nature. So we get right to the point. We have a clear thesis statement that tells our audience what our argument is. And a lot of our culturally and linguistically diverse students might struggle with this. Now, I'm going to take a look here at a diagram, and this is from Kaplan's early work on contrastive rhetoric theory. And this is a bit of an oversimplification of this model here. Here, this arrow going straight down is meant to signify English academic writing as being very direct and very to the point. And here we've got a circular or a spiral diagram. And this is meant to represent the writing of students in many Asian countries, where they'll circle around an argument and come to the point at the end of their writing. A lot of this stems from differences in spoken language. For example, Japanese language is considered to be a listener responsible language. So the person speaking should leave a little bit of ambiguity and allow for their audience to make meaning of their argument. And similarly, in Korean culture, if you're writing for a teacher, you want to show them what you know, but you don't want to be too direct because you're supposed to show a certain amount of respect for an older teacher. So it may not be culturally acceptable to be very direct as you're supposed to be in English academic writing. So how can we support our English language learners? Well, going back to our last example, the first is the direct instruction in the features of English academic writing. So letting your students know it's okay to be very direct, right? And you want to lean on audience awareness here. Let your kids know that no one approach here is better. These are just different approaches. And this is really important. We want to be culturally sensitive when we're dealing with our English language learners. So we can let them know if you're writing for an Anglophone audience, then you want to follow the rhetorical features of English academic writing. So it's important to make sure they understand these cultural differences and why they exist. Another very, very important thing is the use of graphic organizers to support our students. This is a really simple graphic organizer for an opinion essay. Now, this goes back to when we're first studying to be teachers. We learn that our students learn in different ways, right? Some students learn by doing, some students have to see things. Graphic organizers, they allow our students to see the rhetorical features of English academic writing. And I like to pair graphic organizers with templates so students can see how things flow from a graphic organizer to their essay. So here we can show our students, we've got our opinion. This is our thesis right here. And if you want to add an additional support, you can label this, right? This is your thesis right here. Okay, and each of those reasons is going to represent one body paragraph, and each one of those is a topic sentence, right? So each one of those right there is your topic sentence. And all that evidence down here, this is going to be your supporting details. Okay, so that would be your first paragraph right there. And then you've got your second paragraph right here. And then over here, you're going to have your third body paragraph. So then our students can see how everything is going to flow from our graphic organizer to our template. Okay, so there's that thesis at the end of our introduction, our well-placed thesis statement. Here's our reason, that's our topic sentence of our first body paragraph. And then we've got our evidence, our supporting details there. Now, this is for an opinion essay. So I've got language supports here at the bottom, language for expressing your opinion, and I've got linking words. If you're teaching the comparative essay, you might have language for comparing and contrasting at the bottom. So this is available in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. It's in the complete opinion essay. This is also available in the complete academic writing course, which covers the opinion essay, the argumentative essay, and other genres of academic writing, like the comparative and process essay. All right, well, thank you so much for coming to my presentation. And please remember to click like, subscribe, and comment on the video. And if you need the academic writing materials referenced in this presentation, you can find them in my Teachers Pay Teachers store, which is linked in the product description.